Hello there, welcome back. Welcome to automationtalks.com. And today I'm here with one of the interesting question, that is how WebDriverManager downloads accurate driver executables on Selenium WebDriver. Okay, so if you have gone through one of my previous video where I talked about how we can download the driver executables like chromedriver.exe or geckodriver.exe or acedriver, or could be any driver. So how we can download the drivers automatically based on basically it gets downloaded based on the version of browser which I have installed in my machine, right? And WebDriverManager is something which helps us to get the executables download in my project, right? So today I'm going to show you how we can how basically this WebDriverManager does all these things. Okay, so fine, let me go. Okay, and if you have not watched my previous video where I talked about how we can go to like how
Hello friends.
WebDriverManager can help
Nowadays everyone is talking
to
about
manage
DevOps.
driver
That is
executables, you can
continuous
go to my
integration,
YouTube
continuous
channel,
delivery or continuous deployment.
youtube.com/automation talks, and here you will find the
Irrespective
videos.
whether you are a developer,
The
whether
very
you are a
latest video
tester
is
or
WebDriver Manager.
you
You
are
will
from
find links
operation
here.
side, deployment side,
Fine.
everyone talks about
Now,
DevOps because
okay. So, uh, fine. Now let me go to my project basically. Okay, so I'm in my project, and in my project I have used WebDriver Manager. So here in this project basically I have used a WebDriver Manager .firefox driver .setup, right? So what this particular line does, it downloads the dependency for Firefox driver automatically, right? It downloads the, not dependency, it downloads the WebDriver driver executable basically automatically into my machine. Now how this WebDriver Manager comes to know, okay, what version exactly I want and how it copies the things, so all these things are defined in this particular class which is WebDriver Manager, right? So if I open this particular class WebDriver Manager, okay, which is present in my if I go to here in Maven dependencies, and in Maven dependency you will find one of the dependency called as WebDriver Manager. Okay, now let us go to version properties first. Okay, it is one of the properties file, and here you will see he has mentioned basically the guy fine, I'll let you know his name. Fine, so basically that guy has done the fantastic job. What he has done is he has mentioned uh, all the version of the Chrome browser and the respective driver executable version, right? So this is for Chrome. So let us say in my machine if I have Firefox 69 installed, then this WebDriver Manager will download this particular version of geckodriver likewise, right? So this version mapping is present and this version dot property. So based on this particular properties file mapping, basically the correct version of driver executable gets downloaded based on the version what I have installed on my machine. Now the location from where the things will get downloaded, right? So now if I wanted to download it manually, what I'll do is I'll go to this chromedriver.chromium.org/downloads, and here I should see all the Chrome drivers. So let us say if I want the Chrome driver version which I'm using currently, I'm using 77.40, where it is, yeah, this one I'm using currently, this one. So if I want this one, I'll go here, and then based on the platform I'm going to download it. If I'm using Windows, I'll download for this Win32, Mac, Linux, based on my operating system. So I'll click on it and it will download, right? And then I can include it manually, right? So when I use this WebDriver Manager in backend, what happens, if I'm using Chrome browser, then my this particular class, what it does is it navigates to this particular URL, and based on the version of Chrome you have installed in your machine, it checks what version of WebDriver executable it needs, and then it navigate to this URL and downloads it, right? And where it puts the downloaded version, it puts the downloaded version here in the target path, right? You see in the properties file you see something called as target path, right? So if you go to your users, okay, I'll go to my users, Lenovo, and here you will go to your em2 folder, .em2 folder and repository, and here you will find something called as WebDriver, right? So this is the location what he has mentioned, m2 repository WebDriver, m2 repository WebDriver, right? Until now I just used chromedriver and geckodriver, right? So if I open chromedriver, and so you see it has downloaded 77.0.40 version of chromedriver, right? And if I check the version of my Google Chrome, it should be 77 version, right? You see it is the 77 version, right? And based on the mapping what is present over there, for 77 version it should download the 77.40 version what we have here, 77.40 version, right? And one more thing, if you see here, you need not to set a driver WebDriver system.set property and WebDriver.gecko.driver or Chrome.driver, something like that, right? We need not to set it, right? So everything happens automatically. How? Again the things are coded over here, right? So you can see here they are exporting something, and what he is exporting, he is exporting the system property to system, basically WebDriver.chrome.driver, and it will export set basically the property from this particular target path, which is my executable, right? So this is how basically the things get downloaded, and as the setup gets done with the help of these properties what they have mentioned. Fine. Now if I go to this particular setup method, okay, if I go to this setup method, so in this particular setup method, you see what it does. It gets the architecture, what kind of architecture you have. Do you have 32-bit architecture or do you have 64-bit architecture? Based on that your things will get downloaded. Then it gets the what kind of version do you want, right? So how this version will be predicted? Based on the version of browser what you have installed, and then it will look up for this particular properties file, and then it will decide what driver version you want. Fine. And then what it does is it goes to this particular manage, and then with the help of this HTTP client. So when we use HTTP client, if we need to download, if you need to browse the things in backend, right, then in that case we use HTTP client. So with the help of HTTP client, okay, the things are getting downloaded, right? And it checks the basic, so I cannot explain the whole code basically, but you see here download candidate URL, and here basically it is downloading the particular version of driver executable. Okay, so maybe if you have a time, maybe you can go through the code. It is very easy to understand, but this is the very fantastic job this particular guy Gary what's his name is Boni Garissa has done, right? It's the very useful library I found till date, but I need not to manage any driver executable basically, right? So everything will get managed at runtime. So that's what, so this is what internally how it works. So I just wanted to show you how this particular things get downloaded. Everything happens in backend, and the things get downloaded based on the properties and based on the URL what you have mentioned over here, and at the location, and the things get set with the help of this particular parameter, right? So okay, so I think that's it. I have okay, here he has all the dependencies. Okay, so basically you see here the HTML unit driver dependency is downloaded from Selenium HQ. So this particular dependency is used to download the version of download this particular executables HTML. So what is HTML unit? It is the headless browser, right? So this particular headless browser is used to download the things and put at the required location, and the setup gets done. Okay, so that's it I have for this video. I hope you have found this video useful, in which I have shown you how this WebDriver manager works basically to download and set up the driver executables accurately based on the version of browser what you have installed in your machine. Thank you.